So in our personal finance chapter, what our sort of fast skimmed over broad strokes review is we learned about simple interest. We learned that if we're going to put our money in the bank or in an investment, we want to get the best interest rate possible. And we want to do our research and look around. So we learned about simple interest and how to calculate that and how it's the same interest payment each month, like this. Each month it was $63, and here was the simple interest formula. And then we learned about compound interest and the magic of exponential growth, and how the interest payment will continue to grow and grow and grow instead of stay the same. And instead of your money growing like this, it grows and getting bigger, but not much each time in a linear way. We've got a graph that takes off. So we did some work with that, and we did all that exponential stuff. We compared simple interest to compound interest. And we talked about more about compound interest. We talked about how when you have interest that's compounded once a year, then you have one payment a year. When you have interest that's compounded twice a year, you get paid half the interest every 6 months. And so on and so on. 4 times a year is quarterly, 6 times a year is every 2 months, 12 times a year is every month, and then daily is, of course, 365 days a year. And then we got into our 2 projects, which was comparing financial services at banks and whatnot. And then we also got into, as we worked through that, we got into our car project and looking at what's a deductible, down payments, interest, and all of that kind of jazz. And then lastly, depreciation. And then lastly, we talked all about credit cards, financial good hygiene, if you will, about paying your credit card off every month in full, no matter what, not spending money on your credit card that you do not have, and then paying exorbitant and large amounts of interest for the right to use that money, which is a bad place to be. Don't do that. Don't do that. Is it hammered in your head? When you're 40, will you remember this lesson? Do not get into that trap, please. And then what a credit score is, and how when you don't have good credit or when you have no credit, in other words, when you can't demonstrate good credit, how it's not necessarily easy or even possible to get loans to buy a home, have a mortgage, and all of that kind of stuff. And that's what we worked on, and that is the end of the back of the booklet. That is the end of the booklet. So let's talk now about what we need to practice, any questions you have, and let's get to work and review more for our exam.